Facts.
I'd kill to just go somewhere, bro. Like, for
you know what I kill for, bro?
What's that?
Some WAP.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Your methods are aggressive, but I don't disagree.
Your methods are aggressive.
It's the aggression for me. It's the aggression for me. Oh shit!
I thought I was doing something with that transition. I did not think that one through.
Nah.
I did not think that one through. Look, bro, we've been off for the past 2 weeks. I'm a little rusty.
Oh no, that was a good one. All right, man.
My first time doing it, but it was my last.
All right, shit, man. Let's talk about it, man. So, Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, they came out with a song, I think about 2 to 3 weeks ago now, called WAP, which stands for Wet Ass Pussy. Very, they nasty. That's why I'll say like they talking nasty in there. Like, I don't even want to use no crazy word. They talking about some nasty shit in there, which is cool. That's kind of what Meg Thee Stallion kind of vibe has always kind of been on that. This is kind of extreme of that, which not to say it's bad. Everybody look at like somebody call something extreme. It's like out of this world. Somebody. So I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying it's different from a little bit different from how she usually raps. Cardi B even came out and said she was even a little bit uncomfortable, like trying to find the words to actually say kind of on the track. She came out in an interview and said that too. So even for her, she was like, okay, this is a next level of nasty. I ain't really going to. Came out with a cool video. Got Kylie Jenner in there. Got had a lot of cameos. Mulatto was in there. I'm trying to think of them all right now. I ain't watched it in some weeks. So
Normani, Sukiana.
Yeah. So quite a few cameos in there. But the song is doing well on the charts. The song is doing well. People are listening to the song. It's a wild amount of people that know about the song. I literally was just gaming right now with some of my homies. They live in Mississippi. And it's funny because the white dude came in and he was like, hey, y'all here trying to get some WAP? And I was just like, I just thought, like, yo, this shit is crazy. So it's a very well-known song for right or wrong reason, whatever you want to think. You said, what's that?
It went number one.
Yeah, it went number one. So everybody's heard of it. You go on TikTok, it's like a dance thing for it. It's blown the fuck up. But with that, there's been a lot of backlash, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. Backlash from, I guess, just parents, maybe. I don't even know who the group would be, like who I would say this backlash is credited to. Like, it's kind of just like a thing. Like, people are just saying, like, hey, we don't want to push this type of music. This music is like a little too nasty for us. I don't want my child listening to this music. I don't want this and that, which is fine. I mean, we'll talk about how we feel about that. But if I'm missing anything, let me know. But I'll let you go first and see what your views on it is.
So my thing is, I don't care about how vulgar it is, but I understand the criticisms, and I say I don't care because I grew up on the Yin Yang Twins. Like, they literally had a song called "Wait Till You See My Dick," and it was one of the top songs of the time. You know what I mean?
Slob on my knob was never a thing. I guess.
Slob on my knob to the sweat drop down my balls. Like, hip hop has always been vulgar. You know what I mean? So it seems a little bit like, oh, when a girl do it, why y'all saying something now? It's just y'all been doing it for so long. But that's where I kind of like, I don't really like that argument either, because that's kind of like a whataboutism. So just because somebody else did it, that doesn't take away from how vulgar you are. And that's not to say that those songs didn't get the same amount of criticism. You know what I mean? When when those songs were big, when you had the Slob on My Knobs, when you had the Yin Yang Twins, we didn't really have social media, and there wasn't such a cancel culture, and it wasn't such like a woke type of environment. So those things kind of slid under the radar. And as you can see, when we put those same people, like from back in the day, a lot is being uncovered. Kind of shout out to Nas. He said that in the album. 2020 is just uncovering a lot of stuff that's been going on for all this time. It's just now was the climate for us to do something about it. So you can't really compare yourself to something that happened decades ago when times were different and then say, well, if they did it then, I could do it now. That's not really the case. So I understand why people could have a problem with it, just like people had problems with rap in the 90s and they were trying to ban it because it was too explicit. It's just, it's music though. You know what I mean? Nobody's forcing you to listen to it, bro. Like all you had to do is not listen to it. When you see WAP, like every time I don't listen to it. Like if it's on a playlist, I'll skip it, but I don't. Yeah. I'm not gonna sit around and call them all type of names, saying they hoes and they thoughts or whatever. Because one of the women in the video, her name was Sukiana. She gave an interview saying like, "Yo, that's liberating for us. Like when y'all talk nasty like that, so when y'all talk about like kind of like with the city girls, we talking about like scamming and robbing or whatever." It's girls out here really living like that. You know what I mean? However few that may be, that's how we really got to get it. You know what I mean? So when we hear somebody give voice to that type of lifestyle, it's like, bet somebody understands what I'm going through. Not to advocate saying this is how you have to, but to give that type of woman a voice. Hey, I can respect that as well. You know what I mean? That's not what I subscribe to, but I can't hate on you if that's how you live your life. Like, yo, you need a voice too. So I respect that in that regard, but I can kind of see both sides.
Yeah, it's an old argument. It's an old argument. This thing, Lil' Kim was probably even raunchier than this way back when she was in her prime, when she was rapping. And back then there was a lot of like, again, we talked about nasty songs. There's literally a song that was really big. I remember growing up called "Put It in My Mouth." Like it's like pause, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Nelly, yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's some nasty shit out there. Like that's just how sometimes that's part of hip hop. That's one of the areas of hip hop. So. Is it worse now because it's, I guess, more viral, easier to go viral, things of that nature? You can argue that. You can argue that your kids may have access to that at an early age. Because I remember getting caught listening to shit like that. My mom would, take it from me back in the day. It was easy to take. I had like an MP3 player. Like, yo, she gonna take that off my shit. So, but now it's a little bit different with the TikToks and Instagram and social media just in general. It's easier for kids to go listen to this type of stuff. So if that's your argument, it's not a bad argument, right? It's not a bad amount of criticism. Like if you want to, now that's on you. That's on you as a parent or you as a teacher or you as whatever you think to keep your kids from listening to that stuff. That's not on the artist to not make the music because you don't want your kid to listen to it. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. It's just like I'm not going to go to eat McDonald's every day and then claim they made me fat. No, I had the choice, right? So right. You don't go to McDonald's and then be like, now you need to change your whole menu because I got fat. That's not how it works. So you can't blame the artist, but there is something different between attacking and criticizing, right? And that's kind of the big argument that we've been making kind of for weeks now. We'll talk about that a little bit later with the new VP. But I think we got to stop doing the whole thing where we create victims, though, right? I feel like we create victims, right? Like it's okay to criticize people. We gotta be okay with that. We can't be so now. Now you look at everybody attacking black women. It's like I don't really think this is what that's about. It might be, but there's really no evidence of that, right? Like they just saying that this song for them ain't they. It's not for them. Like it's nasty. I don't want nobody around me listening to it. That's up to them. That's their preference. Like they don't have to listen to that. That's not attacking. Now if they came in there like you said and said like, oh, these hoes doing this, these nasty bitches, and calling them out their name and doing shit like that, why they making that argument, then that's another thing. That's when we need to step in and say like, nah, you wilding. Like I was with you. I was allowing you to have your opinion. Now you wilding. You're going from opinion to attacking people now. So we can't create the victim. We can't just be acting like, oh, they said they didn't like my music. Look at them attacking black women. Because then you get people riled up for the wrong reason, right? I feel like I keep saying this. We got bigger fish to fry and shit like that. We just do. We got bigger fish to fry. It's bigger reasons to be talking about. We'll talk about with our next topic. Another big reason that why, again, we should be looking at how black women are attacked. I understand that, but we can't be the people that cry wolf. You can't be like, they attacking black people. Look at this, they attacking black people. Look at this. Like, you gotta be reasonable. Use your head. You can't just call it out every time you see something that's inconvenient or somebody's going against you or somebody has a thought that doesn't align with yours. That's a stupid way to look at it and then call somebody a racist or something like that. It's a stupid way to look at it. So overall, I don't really think the song for me, like, but it wasn't really made for me, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the song ain't for me, but I still support them doing that because, again, I've been supporting that type of music since I've pretty much been listening to hip hop. This is not nothing new. Like, women having sexual liberty is not like, it's not something new. Like, it's been around for a very long time. Like legitimately. So I don't understand why the uproar right now. Maybe the video just got him a little bit. Maybe it going over all over his TikTok. I don't really know what actually like started this backlash. But again, this isn't new. Let's not act like this is something that like on both sides. The argument that people don't like it is not something new. and people making the type of music is not something new. So that's what it is.
No, I feel you. This may get us canceled, but it is what it is. It's 2020, baby. Let's go for it.
Right, fuck it, bro. Let's get it.
I think Dave Chappelle, and this might be a little bit of a reach, but Dave Chappelle, in my opinion, might be the best comedian in my lifetime that I've seen. Right?
Hell yeah.
But my favorite comedian was a comedian by the name of Patrice O'Neal, who passed away, and his comedy was very misogynistic. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, it was, if you listen to some of his comedy, it's like, hey, he would never make it in today's climate, but he was hilarious or whatever. And he had this joke, and he was saying, if you got into an accident and you couldn't use your vagina no more, what would you do to keep your man? And then he let the audience respond. And then one was like, more blowjobs. And then one was like, anal. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he was like, so how do you expect me to respect you if you just boil yourself down to a series of holes? He was like, none of y'all said learn about football, learn about sports, go get another woman. This is how y'all treat yourselves. And it was crazy, bro.
So lie detector says I determine no lies.
He was like, this is how y'all treat yourselves. Like, I didn't make y'all say that. But I say that to say, if this is some women's liberation, we got to respect that.
Oh, yeah.
But I just want to say, if this is what you consider liberation, we can't cancel men for treating women the same way. Like, you can't have both ways. You can't do like when I do it or whatever, or me doing that, like, it's okay. But then if I say hoes or I say bitches or I say like, I don't care, I just want to fuck, like, you can't cancel men for that. So it's like, for those choosing that side to say, yo, this is liberating, this is that, I just want y'all to keep the same energy for not, using that cancel culture for men that do the same thing. So it's just being able to see both sides.
Let me ask you this, because I had this long talk yesterday, and there was a viral clip going around, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But I guess if I call a spade, am I wrong? So if you got a podcast, right, and you talk about all this shit, like, hey, I was fucking 20 men in one day, some crazy shit, some wild, some absurd shit.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right? So, and then you come to me and you say, like, yo, I want you to marry me. Like, and I'm like, nah, because I don't fuck with that. Am I then wrong for being like, you was on whole shit like just yesterday, like, I don't want to be the one to be like married to you. I don't know if you gonna still have that in you. Am I wrong for my preference in that?
Nah.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just as, it's like, if you okay with living that lifestyle, like, let's say for the girl's sake, if she's okay with living that lifestyle, it's nothing wrong with that. It's like, that's your body. You can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
But you then can't get mad at a man for not wanting to take you seriously because of that. Right. Like, you have to be adult enough to understand, like, yo, yes, you can do that. It's your body. You can do whatever you want, but it's consequences that come with it. You know what I mean? And you got to have the same, and that's kind of the point I was trying to make with the liberation movement. It's like, if that's what you consider liberation, that's what you consider empowerment, I'm all for you, because it's your body. You do what you need to do. But that's going to have certain people look at you another way, and you can't, like you said, play the victim once the shoe was on the other foot. So that's how I see it. But
that's my thing. So and the reason I bring this up, because I just so the viral video that came out, and I will be brief on it, but shorty, I don't fucking know who these girls are. I know one of them, she's one that like consistently just lies on people. I don't really know what the fuck the point is of this, which brings up another topic that I don't really want to get into with her, because she said a lot of shit on that podcast, and it's been a big moment. But she brought her friend on, and this was Adam 22, the No Jumper podcast. And she brought her friend on, and they were like, just tell a crazy story. And she's like, basically, she's in a hotel room getting fucked by some, like, a team manager of allegedly the Suns. and apparently all like 7 players on the team came in, and she just sucked them all off one at a time, swallowing nothing, all crap crazy shit, right? Now, he goes on, Adam 22 did a job with this, because he went on, because he's kind of questioning her, and as he's questioning her, he's like, she's talking about how she was so drunk and she just passed out after and things like that. And he's just saying, like, it sounded like you were too drunk to even do this. And she's like, nope, I was perfectly fine in making that decision.
It was lit.
Yeah, it was lit. Yeah, like, I had a great time. And he's like, okay, are you looking at that as a positive thing or a negative thing? She's like, no, it was fucking lit. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, I'm like, so I look at shit like that and I'm like, mentally, I don't think I could be with you just off of shit like that. I can't have that, right? So I don't agree with, let's say, people attacking her, but is it okay to call a spade? Like, because people was in there, obviously, even women were in there, like, comments, like, calling her a hoe and stuff like that. I think she fully, like, is okay with that. I think she fully considers herself like a hoe. Like, that's, she's telling us, like, you know, even in some of the comments, she's replying to the comments, like, yeah, I'll suck off this team next. Like, you know, that's what she do. That's what she's cool with that.
Yeah.
Is it still derogatory if she's like claiming that? I don't really know.
Me personally, like, I'll rather that than be like lying about it. Yeah, like, I'd rather you just be open about it, because it's some people, like, at a certain point in your life, like, you don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it's somebody that's going to love her for who she is. So it's like, I would rather just, hey, you do what you do. You know what I mean? Some things don't have to be said, but, you know, it's just a clickbait error. It's a clout error. You know what I mean? It's easy to go viral when you do stuff like that. And that's kind of what her and Selena Powell are famous for doing, just going viral, talking on other people's names. But as long as we understand, like, no, and we can kind of use this to segue into the next topic, is you can't disrespect or treat a woman that way just because of your opinion of what she's doing. You know what I mean? Like, I think that and this may be ignorant thing to say, misogynist thing in way, I think men have the obligation to kind of be the person to kind of just take care of our women. Like, you know what I mean? And let them do what they need to do. You know what I mean? Speak accordingly, adjust accordingly. You don't have to wife them or whatever, but you don't have to treat them or disrespect them or degrade them because of how they choose to live their life. You know what I mean? I think that if that's how she want to live, as long as she happy, that's on her. You know what I mean? But I don't think that's justification to disrespect her. And if she okay with being called a hoe, then that ain't disrespect. You know what I'm saying? She living that. She claiming.
Yeah. And that, I do want to say, though, I've seen a lot of, like I said, the liberation thing, a part of this. I do want to say that that's fucking whack, though, for her to go in there and say that shit and drop people's name and say shit like that. Because if a dude came in there, did the same thing, say y'all had a threesome with Rihanna and somebody else, some famous dude, they would be on his neck like, oh, look at him, like telling all people.
Oh no,
like that.
They admit they clout chase. Like, that's their thing. Like, they only do it to clout chase. So
yeah, that shit is whack. So y'all can support that, but that shit is whack. I just want y'all to know that shit. Y'all would not have that same energy for a man.
That podcast whack. Right. Talking whack. This podcast tight as fuck.
Me tight as fuck. That's definitely going in there.
Who am I? The girls them sugar.